you get a lot of sympathy from people, but you know the Bavarian police aren't seeming to be the most sympathetic at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's the famous cliche, and it's a cliche because it's true. A certain percentage of the Germanic folks love authority, and all they know is it's the big evil hotel with the bigwigs there, and they're going to grovel to it. We'll be back. Stay there. I want to learn what you think's on the agenda that we haven't learned yet, who may be on the list and not on the list. Charlie Skelton from The Guardian, raided at 1 a.m., drug out in his underwear, and he's calmly taking it. So, report. Charlie, you know, they come into your place, they take you back out to the car. I mean, this is really outrageous in a Western country. It's what I'd expect to hear from a third world nation. I mean, I know you don't like to draw attention to yourself, but I think journalists should rally to your aid and others' aid, because we've really seen an attack on journalists the last few years across the Western world that's unprecedented.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the way to do it, I think, is to try and push, in this instance, to push for press accreditation and for a press centre, and to build relationships, because the more you can build relationships, the less exposed you feel. And I guess that's also applies to relationships between journalists. But, you know, there's precious little journalism going on when you in the mainstream media. When you look at what went on in the G7, where there was this kind of prepackaged stuff being fed out from the government, all this pooled footage and photos being kind of regurgitated and chewed over. And it didn't strike me that was particularly real journalism. Whereas, you know, seeing your guys out there and climbing up a mountain and taking photos of radar masts and that kind of thing, that's actually, you know, it's not easy to do. And I don't think journalism should be that easy.
That's a good point. Modern so-called journalists just sit there, get a government or corporate press release, republish it, and put their name on it.
It's all press releases. I mean, the whole of the G7 was a huge press release. And it was to be inside it and to be within the press centre, this giant thing held in an ice skating centre, it was very surreal at times. And it was surreal because everyone was taking it seriously. It was like they were looking at photos of a pantomime, and Goldilocks was up on the screen, and they were all going, "Oh my God, Goldilocks looks like she's in trouble." You know, it was like that kind of seriousness of the whole thing, and that's what was. It was like cognitive dissonance, I felt. Sure. What do you make of the armored vehicle rolling up to you and 9 other journalists like you were terrorists? Well, it's kind of bizarre. I mean, it's part, I suppose, of the general militarization of police. I suppose there's so much of this equipment that's just finding its way and trickling back into the domestic police forces, which is a bit grim. And I guess in America you have a lot more of that. Every town has one store and a tank. But it's kind of weird, and it's just such overkill. I mean, it's so unnecessary. In fact, the policing and the checkpoints are so heavy that there's precious little few people out here, you know, standing even by the gates. It's very small this year, you know, and I have seen one mainstream journalist, which is good, but unfortunately she was in a Mercedes being driven up to the hotel. She's the editor of a Norwegian newspaper. So yeah, I guess I've seen one mainstream journalist. So that's good. That's a start.
Yeah, they're inside and promise not to talk. In closing, we know some of their agenda. What do you think this year's Bilderberg's really all about? And how would you summarize other key points as a journalist that you're witnessing?
Well, from the agenda, obviously the AI leaps out with Google DeepMind, and this the general shift of Bilderberg towards high tech and towards those spheres, you know, with their people like Peter Thiel from Facebook and Alex Karp from Palantir and Schmidt from Google, etc., and Mundy from Microsoft. These are big players in the tech field, and it's very interesting to see that their presence and their power is growing within Bilderberg. So that's interesting, and I guess also Greece is a big thing. And you've got a member of the executive board of the European Central Bank. You've got 2 European finance ministers, 3 European prime ministers. They're going to be talking about Greece and the Grexit, and they're going to be talking about it with all these predators, like people like Goldman Sachs and Deutsche Bank and Morgan Stanley and Lazard and HSBC, etc., etc. The list goes on. But, you know, not a single Greek-serving politician will be there. So, you know, if I was the finance minister Yanis of Greece, I'd be wanting to come here now.
It can't make them happy that the UK wants to get a vote on staying in the EU, something they never got to be put in the EU before. I noticed they've got some of the media people there as well that are big on keeping the UK in the EU. I noticed some of those folks got invited into Bilderberg, and we know that it ties into TPP as well.
Absolutely. Well, everything does. At the moment, Yeah, everything ties into the big trade agreements. And there's some key lobbyists for that here at Bilderberg, at the very top level. And you could almost describe the whole meeting as a lobbying opportunity for these trade groups.
Why do you think they're targeting you so much? Because my reporters said it days ago when you first got there that they seemed to be targeting you, and I don't think there's any doubt of that now.
Well, I'm just flattered to get any kind of attention. I suppose once a year I get stripped to my underwear and chat to a policeman, and it's nice. And I should point out, by the way, that I stripped. I wasn't stripped.
I understand, but you're in your place, and then they take you back outside. I was being a bit sarcastic there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do next, or maybe you can't say?
Next now?
Yes.
I just carry on trying to report. It's all you can do. All you can do is turn up and do your best to report on events. It's very simple.
We're talking to a rare man, a real journalist who works for a major media outlet, Charlie Skelton from The Guardian. Thank you so much. We'll cover your action here every day. Thank you. We're also jamming communications. We also have linked up there the Mark Dice video that's also on drudgereport.com. We'll put that article on screen. Obama zombies. Americans sign prankster petition to nuke Russia video. Doesn't that just say everything? And he's done more than 100 of these videos, I would guess, where he comes up and says, I want to put all gun owners for Obama in forced labor camps. And they go, yeah, I'm sick of these people. We want to put all Republicans in death camps. Yes, we want to burn the Jews for Obama. You could say anything. For Obama, they say yes. Well, now, nuke Russia for Obama. This is political correctness. Just mindless idiots who have no intellectual acumen, who have nothing. They just are good, and everybody else is racist, and everybody else is bad. In fact, I never even played the clip of Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, doing an interview, and his daughter's like 13. They said, hey, you want to move back into New York City so you can meet more boys? And their daughter said, that's sexist. Girls liking boys is bad. And they said, you're joking, right? And she said, no. You see, men and women together is bad. All men are rapists. This is the mind control. You could say ban men for Obama. And I guess women would sign it. We've gone out in Austin, hey, let's kill babies up to age 5. Sure, it was for Obama. As long as it's for Obama. How do you like your doubling, tripling health care cost that was supposed to be free? It's the mind control. So Mark Dice joins us. He has a new book out. He's written a bunch of books. They're excellent. And the new book breaks down the Bilderberg Group. We'll talk about that with him some in a moment. We can put that up on screen as well. The Bilderberg Group, Facts and Fiction. So we can get his take on Bilderberg Group as well today. But Mark Dice, media analyst, joins us. Mark, we're going to play this video here in a moment. But I tell you, I've been out there to California. I've seen it myself. I've seen it at UT and other trendy areas. This is a cult of idiots. Paul Watson had an article last week titled The Rise of the Idiots. In the West, the IQ points are down 14% in just the last 20 years. We are not just dumb from not being trained and not being educated, but we are dumb because of the environment we're in, whatever's causing it, the fluoride, the rest of it. But, this is the rise of the fascistic idiots who can hardly talk, but can say, I love Obama. Obama, Obama. Hey, I don't want to open our borders up and pay for it. Shut up, racist. I don't want to have my health care written by foreign insurance companies with death panels. Shut up, racist. All they know is racist, racist, racist. Polly had a racist. Polly had a sexist. Racist, racist. I'm intellectual. I'm intellectual. Racist, 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 racist. I love Satan. I kill my babies. I love Mao. Racist, racist. And I'm not joking. I can play clips of feminists running around screaming, I love Satan. I love killing babies, with their tongues hanging out, hell, Satan. This is, perhaps they don't have souls, and this is some interdimensional demonic infestation. I'm joking, but maybe I'm not. Mark Dice, what do you have to say? I think we're having some Skype problems.
I got audio now.
Okay, good. What do you say to all this? I mean, how dumb are they going to get?
It's amazing. I mean, I didn't hear the intro there, but as you saw, as the audience maybe knows, this video outraged Russians because we're kind of used to this kind of political comedy, I guess, but it's a tragedy. And so I've been getting emails from a lot of major Russian newspapers and television networks, not just RT, I'm talking about Russian major mainstream media. They're absolutely outraged and stunned. I don't think, obviously the humor probably didn't transfer over, but to see the fact that an American citizen or a whole bunch of them would be willing to launch a nuclear strike at this day and age, decades after the Cold War has ended, is absolutely stunning and has appalled them. We are in the idiocracy. It can't get much worse. These are like 3-year-old children that I just order them around and they obey, and they don't think, they obey Obama. It's absolutely incredible, especially this far into the Obama presidency, when he has failed at everything. He's backtracked on just about every promise. He's expanded the Orwellian.
Mark, I'm going to stop you. I'm going to stop you and then give you the floor. But you just said something incredible. They accidentally had you potted down. You couldn't hear my 3-minute, 4-minute rant intro about your book and how these are zombies and how dumb they are and how they're not even really liberals, how they're just in this cult of just using magic words and what Jerry Seinfeld said about political correctness. And then you come on and say exactly what I was saying without even hearing me, because it's veritas. It's truth. These people are a dangerous cult of sick freaks. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You can see, sometimes I didn't even get to finish to mention that it was about nuking. I just said, hey, will you help Obama? And they were just more than willing to help. These are people who probably were too lazy to get up and drive to the polls and go and vote or send in an absentee ballot. But if you just put a petition in front of them, you give them a pen, and they just feel, hey, all I need to do is sign to help Obama. And you can see in these last few videos, I've added an Obama shirt just to add to the overall theme of supporting Obama. It's incredible, man. I mean, obviously not everybody signed the petition, but the fact that anybody would sign this and not pick up, and in some of these instances, I mean, I'm repeating myself 3 different times as they're signing it. This is to nuke Russia. This is to launch a preemptive nuclear strike. Maybe they think a nuclear strike means that it's like a strike, a workers striking. They're not going to go and work. Maybe society's gotten so dumbed down, Alex, that maybe some of these people, I'm thinking, hopefully, they think that a nuclear strike is opposing a nuclear attack. It's astounding, and I understand why the Russians are so upset. I just saw a video this morning. A Russian journalist attempted to do the same thing over in Russia, asking his people to sign a petition to nuke Americans, and it was something only like 2 out of 30 people signed the petition. I never thought I would be starting a potential international incident, but this is what's happening in America, particularly Southern California, which may be an extra special brand of stupid.
But of course, they're smarter than us because they're liberal. It doesn't matter if we're real classical liberals, paleo-conservatives, whatever you want to call us. They can just wave a wand and feel better just calling us racist or sexist or whatever. But a lot of times I talk to my reporters, usually about 9 out of 10 will say, turn in all our guns for Obama. About 7 out of 10 say, put conservatives in forced labor camps. And then they speak perfect English, and they'll go, oh, don't tell me about it, buddy. I'm sick of these people. Let's put them in a camp. You know, you have that famous video. But when you look at this, it's just so flabbergasting what a cult they're in. Because beyond just being stupid, they want to submit to that gang. But what percentage of people, how many did you talk to, how many said, yes, let's nuke Russia?
You know, a lot of people just simply don't want to pay any attention to somebody bothering them on the beach with a petition. So a lot of people just keep walking, and they don't even pay any attention to what I'm saying. They just say, no, thank you, and they keep on walking. But out of the people who stop, I mean, the vast majority of them will sign it. It's astounding. When I started this petition series a few years ago, I never thought people would be signing. I thought the comedy bit would be me pretending to be in this Obama-loving zealot and to evoke such an incredible reaction from the people about this character's, insane devotion to these insane policies that he wanted to support. And it was the exact opposite. And so there's probably 40, 50 different petition videos, man on the streets, repealing the Bill of Rights. It's just incredible. I mean, some of these videos take 10 minutes, 15 minutes to shoot, and the majority of that time is me standing there waiting for somebody to come by, because I usually will target, somebody that's by themselves. if there's a group of people, somebody's